Happy Tuesday night to everyone.
Bro, it's so good to see you. And, when you think you know your boy, because last week we were on here doing this shit, and then I feel like, I don't know, I mean, maybe it's not every day, but I feel like every other day there's a text here or a text there, and we're communicating about something, a phone call every now and again. And I just found out as I came on here 3 minutes ago that you were in San Francisco when Gabe Kapler got shit canned.
Yeah, matter of fact, I came out there to to do a retirement speech for Mario Alioto. They threw a party for him on Thursday night. Did that, and then walked into the clubhouse on Friday about 1 p.m. My normal time getting to the clubhouse, and found that he had gotten fired. And I was like, whoa, and there was some players that were there, a bunch of coaches were there, and pretty much everybody was just walking around, looked like they were shell shocked. And so anyway, I hate to say it, but look, the major leagues is performance driven. And if you don't win, somebody's got to pay. I mean, that's just the way it is. And so anyway, so some of the coaches, guys who haven't been around the major leagues a lot, came up to me and they were talking about the timing of it, with 3 days left in the season. And, he had another year on his contract and stuff like that. And I go, hey, the bottom line is, and I hate to say it, the bottom line is W's. And the San Francisco Giants have been proud of their history. They're proud of their history when I played, when Buster Posey and those guys played, and they're kind of going in the wrong direction right now, right? And so then I told, some of the coaches, these younger coaches that have never been around the major leagues before, I told them, I said, look, you got to realize something. If they're bringing in another manager, he's probably going to bring in his own coaching staff. So they might have this might be the tip of the iceberg. We might have more whacking going on. I said, you guys better duck and weave, baby.
So you told them that.
Yeah,
it's true.
Hey, it's the truth. It's the truth. What am I going to hide from it? No, it's the truth. That's the way it works.
Wow. So did you have any inclination that this was going to happen?
Had no clue. No clue. Farhan came in and addressed the team. Kapler did not address the team. He left. Farhan came in and said, it all falls on my shoulders. This year's been a disappointment. We need to get a winning tradition, all that sort of stuff. And that was about it. He asked everybody in the clubhouse if anybody wanted to get up and say a word. Not one player got up and said anything. Not one.
What do you say, though, if you're a player at that point? Because your manager gets fired. Your general manager is standing there saying that this falls on him. Yet you and I both know that there's accountability in that locker room.
Yes.
And I got to believe the reason why nobody stood up is because they all realized that they just got a guy fired.
Yeah.
And
yeah. No,
you got
to look at it that way. It's like, hey, look, Farhan goes out, gets the players, does the transactions, all that sort of stuff. Kapler does whatever he does to put the lineup out there. It's the players' job to go out there and perform. And then when they didn't perform, stuff happens. So
base hit center field. So right now we're watching the Milwaukee Brewers and Arizona Diamondbacks. Yes, I am repping the D-backs colors right now.
You should be. You played for them.
Well, fuck, dude. They helped me build this house. You're damn right I should. Now,
hell yeah.
On top of that, look, dude, Arizona is everybody's second favorite team. They're the redheaded stepchild that gets no fucking love. This is an electric group of players that are as entertaining as any team in all of baseball. And here they are in the postseason taking on the Brewers, underdogs. They're up 4-3. Bases are juiced, so with no outs.
Oh, geez, and he hit him. Did he hit him?
Oh, that's what he's saying, yeah.
Sure enough, he hit him with the bases drunk, so now it's 4-4, and bases drunk, still nobody out. Oh, and by the way, whoever this is, let's see who's pitching for the D-backs. It's oh God, they've had 3 or 4 guys already. The Brewers already got 10 knocks. They're in the 5th.
Well, our guy Nelson has come into the game, and he's given up 3 hits, and now a hit by pitch.
Yeah,
Ryan Nelson. Look, man, the D-backs I just don't think they have the arms. That's the bottom line. Like their starter tonight even gave up 7 hits. He wasn't very good. Fat, they call him, dude. PFAADT. 2 2/3, 7 hits, 3 runs, 4 Ks. He gave up a bomb. I don't know. He didn't have great numbers coming into this. Didn't have great numbers in the regular season. I'm thinking to myself, this is who you're running out there for game fucking number 1.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I'm kind of right there with you. I mean, let's see what he had for the regular season.
So they're taking a look at this, Thrill. Let's see if it hits him.
I mean, you're running out a guy that was 3-9. Dude, 3-9, and that's who you running out there on game 1?
Well, remember this, because the D-backs were fighting to get into the postseason. So, I mean, their dudes are like Zach Gallen, a former, I think, University of North Carolina stud. They got it. They got a few other guys like legitimate starters. This guy's not that guy. And they did. They ran him out there game 1. They were massive underdogs, or I don't know. Maybe not massive, but I think Milwaukee's like minus 170 in this contest.
Oh, by the way, while we're talking about this, little raise of the glass right here to Tim Wakefield. Good dude, man. Competitor. I like Tim a lot, and brain cancer got him at 57. So here you go, Tim.
Double sky point for our boy.
Yep. Hey, we talked about this before, but you hear guys be good fastball hitters, good breaking ball hitters. You never hear of a guy being a good changeup hitter or a good knuckleball hitter, right? But I played with a guy in Texas, Dean Palmer, and Dean used to wear out every knuckleballer. So I went up to Dean one day, and I'm like, dude, how the hell do you do it? He goes, the only thing I can tell you, Thrill, he said, when it's up high, it doesn't move as much. He said, when it's down low, he said, that sun gun's running all over. He said, so if it starts up by my eyes, he said, that's the one I'm swinging at. And he'd break out his best freaking softball swings, dude.
See it high, let it fly.
There you go.
The terminology for the knuckleball, see it low, let it go. By the way, they took the run back. So now all of a sudden, there's 2 strikes on the hitter.
They said it didn't hit him?
Yeah, that was tough to take back. Because
from the get-go, it looked like it got him.
Hey, Thrill, can you see this right here? You know the Marlins, man? Have you ever heard of him?
The dude that sits behind home plate in the playoffs, gets all the playoff tickets?
Yeah, he's sitting behind.
Is he there? Is he there?
Yeah, I want to show you, though.
All right.
Not him. But I actually want to show you the company that Marlin Man is keeping tonight. She looks like a lovely lady. Right here.
Okay.
Yeah. There she is.
Right.
In yellow. Good on Marlins, man. Looks like he's got his dad sitting next to him to the left and his girlfriend to the right, and that might be his wife next to her. So who knows? Anyhow.
Hey, this kid Nelson just threw 3 straight right down the middle of the plate with a 1-2 count. 3 straight right down the middle of the middle. Like, buddy, you better find the freaking corners here a little bit. There you go. That's the corner. You see what happens when you hit the corner? Strikeout.
I mean, they went from having a tie game, 4-4, with the bases loaded and no outs.
Yeah.
Now it's 4-3. They took the run off the board.
Yeah.
And there's 1 out. Okay, here comes Torey Lovello. He's going to use the bullpen. Do you know Torey Lovello? He's a fucking awesome guy, man.
I don't know Torey. I don't know anything about him. I do know, though, that the Diamondbacks got all of their runs so far via the home run.
Yeah, it was Corbin Carroll and Ketel Marte going back to back.
Yeah.
Marte, Thrill, you would have been so impressed with what he did, because after Carroll went deep, Marte came up and they showed his first at bat, and he got eaten up by cutters in. And then Corbin Byrnes, who's nasty, by the way, threw another cutter in. Marte ambushed him, literally just whack, pulled the hands in, stood there, flexed for a second, and then fucking gone, man. A low line drive that he was able to pimp, that tied the game. And then it was a Diamondbacks catcher who ran into another one. So, yeah, all of the Diamondbacks runs have come via the fucking long ball, man.
Oh, man. Hey, Linda, you were talking about Marlon Man, who's sitting next to Marlon Man. And Linda put on there his hoe, and then she put parentheses and dots in there to make it look like titties. I think that's pretty solid, Linda. Nice job. I've never seen that one before. That's a first. Nice. Hi, baby.
Well, Thrill, I didn't want to say it, but this is no filter network. She's got a nice rack, man.
Hey, there you go. There you go. Linda knows. Linda knows. She just beats you to the punch.
And I appreciate boobies and no boobies, and I like the whole looks. Like, it doesn't. I'm not even particular on it. But in this case, Marlon Man's beef, dude. She, I don't. Again, I not exactly sure exactly what she is, but she's packing a punch.
There you go. All right, so back to the action. All right, so I give you kind of the background on Kapler. Talk to the coaches. Then Farhan comes in. The chat room, just like anything else, right? I mean, literally, when the news hit that Kapler got fired, my phone started blowing up. Are you taking the job? All that sort of stuff, right? And so there is always speculation on everything. The names that are being thrown out, and I'll just chunk a bunch of them at you here. Matt Williams is one. Bob Melvin over there in San Diego is another. I've heard of Craig Counsell. There was another one. Ron Wotus has been chunked out there. And I'm just throwing this one out there just for the hell of it, because he was actually at the ballpark on Friday night. No, it was a Friday or Saturday. Whenever we did the Willie Mack Award, was Mike Matheny was out there.
Yeah, I saw that.
I'm just saying they got a lot of stuff going on. They got big decisions happening. I know the chat room will probably freaking blow up here and there, but that is not my job. My job is to work with whoever they hire, and this is the one thing. And I am going to tell you, and I'm going to tell everybody that's in the freaking chat room here. I went up to one of our executives and I said, look, I'm just letting you know that I'm going to be in spring training next year. And I said, we have got to get back to a winning attitude, right? And so I told them, I said, no matter what happens, I don't know who's going to speak. I said, and I hope you guys address it. But if you do not address it, when I come to spring training, I'm calling an organizational meeting. I'm going to get everybody parking their ass right there. And I'm going to tell them, you know what it means when you put the San Francisco Giant jersey on. You know what the history is. You know what the winning tradition is. You know what the Hall of Famers represent. And to be, kind of backseat, that's not what I did. That's not how I came in, and Robbie Thompson, Matt Williams. That's not how Buster Posey, Madison Bumgarner, and those guys, how they came in. We expect to win. We walk out on the field, we want to kick somebody's ass. And that needs to be said, because it hasn't been said in a few years. And I can promise you, if any of you minor leaguers are paying attention right now, you guys will hear that next year.
Okay, so obviously they make the change. Kapler gets fired. Let me start here. Why, with 3 days to go, was this move made? Why not just play out the last 3 games of the season?
I was told that Farhan did an interview on Wednesday, and he was asked, about, will Kapler stay to the end of the year and blah, blah, blah. And he said something it really was actually a decent, what was that? Another homer right there?
No, dude, a double play. The Diamondbacks get out of it.
Oh, geez. Wow.
Huge.
Wow. So anyway, evidently Farhan did an interview and must have said something like, we'll see. And then people start drawing conclusions and jumping the gun and all that sort of stuff. And so they said, well, sooner rather than later, but I mean, when is a good time to fire somebody? There is no good time to fire anybody, but they had to address it. And, that's the way they decided to do it.
Okay. So you mentioned a few of the candidates, Thrill. I don't know if Trey sent you this, but I did a montage on Instagram about 5 potential candidates.
Somebody had said that you did something on there.
Yeah, and you know what? Basically, how I said it is, I'm like, look, for the sake of the show, I was actually very, very serious about this, but I'm going to read you exactly what it was. Let me see if I go to it right here. No, it wasn't it. This is it. So the caption read, I said, of course, Will the Thrill is our first choice to be the new skipper of the San Francisco Giants, but we need him for Deuces Wild. So for the sake of the program, here are 5 potential candidates, not named Will Clark, that could be a good fit. All right. Number 5 was Matt Williams. Would Matt Williams be a good fit for the San Francisco Giants?
I would think so. I mean, he had kind of a winning program going over there with Arizona when he got bagged for whatever reason. He got bagged over there. I mean, he was winning
in Washington. Yeah, he was the manager of the year in Washington in 2014.
Yeah, exactly. Washington. I'm sorry, but anyway, but he knows the history of the Giants. If anybody knows it, he was part of it. He was one of the history makers. So yeah, I wouldn't see why Matt would be a bad choice.
Number 4 was Bob Melvin, the current manager of the San Diego Padres. Basically, the point that I made was that, look, he didn't have a great year in San Diego. There's been rumors. I didn't say this. I will say it here, though. There's been rumors or truths that Bob and AJ Preller, the general manager, don't see eye to eye. This could be a great opportunity to get Bob back to the Bay. Obviously, longtime manager of not only the Diamondbacks when I played for him, but also the Oakland A's, managed for the Mariners as well. Bay Area guy. That's another one. What would be your thoughts on that?
And so here's another thing too. That's who Bob came up through the major leagues with. Bob was, a teammate back in '86. He was our backup catcher. He backed up Bob Brenly. So, that was Bob Melvin's first, team in the major leagues, San Francisco Giants. So he has roots there as well. So that would, I guess you would say, kind of sit well as also. You look at him. And then Matt Williams, he's brought Matt Williams around with him. He's brought Mike Alfretti around with him.
Yeah.
And so, those guys all kind of hang together. So.
All right. Number 3 on the list was Mark DeRosa. And I know you probably don't know D-Row as well as I do.
I know D-Row. D-Row played for the Giants. I know D-Row well.
Okay. Well, I mean, this is a guy that I spent a lot of time with at MLB Network. He, managed Team USA to the silver medal they lost in the last inning against Japan, but did a terrific job with that. He's always wanted to manage. He's a big-time TV personality. He makes 7 figures. Let's just start there. So I think that's going to be probably the most expensive hire to try to get him away from that. I know managers aren't making a shit ton of money these days. I do know that D-Row is doing just fine, so it would probably have to be the right opportunity, obviously, to pry him away for the right amount of money. Your thoughts on having D-Row?
kind of exactly what you said. I mean, D-Row's making 7 figs, so he'd probably be the most expensive of the group. The Giants would some sort of way or another have to pry him away from MLB Network, and I thought he did a real good job in the baseball classic. I thought he did a real good job with Team USA. He's a real likable type of guy. And, D-Row and I have always gotten along well. So, like I said, that's the thing. We can hash this out. Everybody can hash it out in the chat room, whatever. But it's going to boil down to, Farhan and the ownership group as to which direction they want to go.
Okay, I get it, dude. I really do. But being totally transparent here, as we are always on No Filter Network, I don't think that this is 100% Farhan's decision. He has 1 year left on this contract. So there needs to be other voices in on who becomes manager. Farhan alluded to the fact that we need a great recruiter. And I want somebody before free agency begins to be that guy and to be able to come and sell the San Francisco Giants to these players. This needs to be a destination where dudes want to come play for this manager. So when it comes to picking the manager, look, Farhan, yes, I would say he's the number one voice in all of this. But if I'm the ownership group, I am looking at this and I'm like, before we make this fucking decision, we are going to discuss it 15 times over and make sure we have the right guy. Because otherwise, we're going to be sitting here a year from now, say they go out and have another shit season. Well, there goes your new manager you brought in. There goes your GM. And it's just not a good look. One of the things about the San Francisco Giants over the years, you know this as well as fucking I do, Thrill, it's stability. We had Roger Craig. We had Dusty Baker, you had Bruce Bochy, and that was fucking stability. Right? You had Felipe Alou even, which was stability in there. You basically had 4 managers. 4. Over the span of 25, 30 years, it seemed like. And now all of a sudden, this is not going to become a carousel. That's not who the Giants are. They should not want that to happen. So this next decision of who they pick as manager, look, man, the Diamondbacks, for example, stuck with Torey Lovello through thick and thin. The Giants need to select somebody that regardless of what happens, wins and losses for next year. It needs to be somebody that is establishing a unity and meaningfulness of the San Francisco Giants organization. Does that make sense?
Makes definite sense. All the sense in the world. And so while you were talking, I pulled it up on here talking about, Farhan and stuff. And it says that he reiterated his desire to have a new hire in place before the start of free agency, so that he could basically, whoever it is that's in place, can go out and be a recruiter for the San Francisco Giants to try to get some free agents on board. And then it also says right here, Zaidi expects finalists to eventually meet with ownership representatives, including Chairman Greg Johnson and President CEO Larry Baer, and then also Buster Posey.
Okay, I'm going to go to my last 2 candidates that I brought up on Instagram. Number 2, this one's a little bit of a wild card because he's never managed, he's never coached, he just got done playing. I know the guy, he's quirky, but he's smart. He really knows the game, and I feel like he would surround himself with the right team. Hunter Pence, your thoughts?
That's quirky is an understatement. All right. That's a really good way to describe Hunter. I would have to say that probably the guys that you mentioned before have more of a nod than Hunter would.
Sure.
Hunter is, newly retired, and he's doing some, TV stuff, radio stuff, all that sort of stuff. And if he did get hired, exactly what you said, he'd have to have a coaching staff around him that knew all of the little nuances, because this is completely new to him.
Okay, the number one guy that I brought up, and my philosophy on this is that you bring him in. It doesn't matter if the Giants go 60-102 next year or 102-60. You know you're going to stick with him over the course of the next 20 fucking years. Buster Posey, your thoughts?
Buster knows the game inside and out. I mean, he knows it inside out. What he did from the catching position was absolutely phenomenal. So it would translate into managerial success as well. I mean, you look at Bruce Bochy, ex-catcher. Look at Joe Torre, ex-catcher. So I could see Buster doing that. It is, and I'm not going to speak for Buster, but there's a reason he retired. He enjoyed being around his family, two young kids that need, caring for. And so to be totally honest, I mean, I can't see Buster breaking away, but it also wouldn't surprise me.
Okay. And I said the same thing. It would be hard to pry him away from the life he's living now. And now he's part of the ownership group and everything else. The next thing that I want to share with you, Thrill, is the comments that were left under this post. And they're pretty epic. And one of the first one right here is Williams D-Row. And we're all going to say, Will the Thrill, Candlestick would go nuts. I could read you. There's 212 comments. I could read you 150 of the 212 that literally are calling for you to be the manager of the San Francisco Giants.
I get it. I totally get it. Let's see. How can I put this? If I did, let's say, consider this, I would need a kind of a little bit change in the attitude as far as position players go. We would be taking batting practice every day. We'd be taking ground balls every day. We'd be talking, more about the fundamentals of the game, and we would be winning every day. And I need to see that dedication from some of the guys. And, when I show up, we talked about this last week, when I show up and I see 6 guys taking batting practice, or I see 4 guys taking batting practice, or I see, 3 guys taking ground balls, that doesn't cut it for me. That is not going out there and earning your stripes. That's not earning your job. That's not you working on job security. That's not you bettering yourself. That's not you helping this team out. It is straight being all about me, I. And that is not the Thrill. I can tell you that right now.
So, dude, it's funny because another reason why I didn't, make a big deal out of it, other than putting you all over the caption, is that I feel like you're comfortable in your life where you are in Louisiana and doing your thing. And look, but I also start thinking about it a little bit more. And, the kids are older now. You have more liberty to go do things that you want to do. Man, I'm going to be totally honest, bro. The more I even think about this, I'm like, why the fuck not? And the reason being is that you're the yang to the yin.
I get it. I get it. I get it.
We need.
I get it.
You're the Bruce Bochy to Chris Young. Like, there's a reason why those are put together. So I'm not even saying I would keep Farhan. I love it. Like, I actually think Farhan's got some great fucking ideas and
no, I get it.
Everything else. But he needs, whether it's you or somebody else, he needs a player's manager. He needs a guy that is going to be committed to the process of work that goes on the fucking field. Does that make sense?
Yes, I totally agree. I totally agree. And, you know, and I'm just going to be brutally honest with you, is the fact that, you know, I retired for a reason. And, you know, as you well said, I have enjoyed my life. I love being around baseball. It's been my life, my whole life. But I also need to step away from time to time. And that little free time that I have, especially during the summer, is very important to me. You know, if you became the manager, February to October, you are tied up. And, you know, I mean, I'd have to move the family out there, all that sort of stuff. So, you know, I mean, you know, I am in a really good situation right now with the San Francisco Giants. I still have an effect on a lot of the guys coming through the organization and making it to the major leagues. I still have a lot of input and say so and teaching and stuff like that. Yeah. But, you know, I mean, I can tell you one thing right now. There's going to be a few things. All right, let me run this one by you real quick. We already talked about it. I need a different type of player. I need a player that is going to go out there, work his ass off, all right, that is going to be ready to play every day, not ask me for days off, shit like that, okay? I am going to have, if I do, I'm going to have a starting staff. They're not going to go 50 pitches. They're not going to go 75 pitches. You will be throwing 100 pitches minimum, and you're going to work up that way. We're going to have a starting staff. Then we'll have a relief corps and a closer, all right? You, as far as an everyday player, you will go out there and you will have to bust your ass. You'll have to work at your position, much less work at your position as far as a hitter goes, okay? We will not have a platoon system. We will have guys that man up and get in the batter's box and take their lumps the way it is.
I love it, dude. And that's exactly why I believe you should be the dude. Now,
I get it. I get it.
Man,
I get it.
Biased. You're my boy. You know, I totally understand. But I've talked myself into this as I've gone through, and I've tried to remove myself from our relationship. And if I were just a baseball analyst and I didn't know you, and let's say I grew up a Giants fan, that's fine. But if I followed you and know your philosophy, that's why and how you would be my dude. And it would be.
I get it.
The question is, would you be able to work with Farhan though?
Oh, I could work with Farhan. Farhan and I get a good relationship, so I could work with him. Let me take that a step further, okay? Analytical wise, I can deal with guys saying, "Hey, look, you know, this guy hits this guy well, he doesn't hit that guy well," those kind of things, okay? But analytical wise, and not saying Farhan, I'm talking about the little flunkies running around. You're not going to tell me who to start, and you're not going to make out my lineup card. That ain't happening. That's not your job. Your job is to provide me with stats or provide the player with stats so that they can succeed. All right? Your job description is not making out the lineup card. Your job description is sit your ass over there, and that's my job. Okay? Second thing, and this is probably one of the big things, is, you know, the media now really, really, you know, I mean, they're so opinionated, and they think that they know baseball more than anybody else. And they try to fill out your lineup card. They try to tell you what moves to make, all that sort of stuff. So I'd tell them to go freaking fly a kite too.
Well, as you should. I mean, you need to make decisions that you think are going to give you the absolute best chance to win. So, look, I'm not going to get into the details of the process of this. If you were to ask me, I'd call whoever it is in upper management or Farhan, and I'd be like, you want my advice? I'd at least sit down with Will and see what he has to say and see if it's a good fit, that or not. Regardless, though, I still also believe that somebody like you, never mind, you specifically, need to be in on the hiring process. The same way Buster Posey is going to sit down, is he part of the ownership, whatever. But I think they need that old school fucking mentality in that room, and you helping them make that decision as far as who they bring in if, say, for whatever reason, it wasn't you.
I get what you're saying. I get exactly what you're saying. And I would have no problem, none. Matter of fact, I've even told Farhan this. I said, Farhan, let's wait a few days, let everything sort of calm down. So probably sometime this week, I don't know. I'll give him a holler and see if he wants to talk and just bullshit. All right.
Yeah.
But another thing too, and I told Buster this. Buster and I talked at Mario's deal, and I said, hey, look, why don't you and I talk too as well? I mean, so Buster and I, we talked a little bit at Mario's deal, but we could talk more at length. So there's another one for you. And then I think personally too is the guy who's the big dog, Greg Johnson. I know Greg, hey, how you doing? How's everything? But I don't know him in depth, carrying on a conversation. I'd love to have a conversation with Greg. And Larry Baird knows where I stand. He knows exactly where I stand. So, so everybody, hey, look, this is going to be a complicated process. This is not anything that's going to transpire here in the next day or so.
I'm not trying to name drop or anything. You know as well as I know, good family friends is Rob Dean, who was.
Yeah, and I love Rob. I saw Rob at Mario's deal too.
Yeah, so Rob took over for Larry when Larry was, take a little sabbatical or whatever.
Right.
Look, Rob and I have always had very open conversations. I'm going to make my opinion noted, and not that my opinion doesn't mean shit around here. I get it. But at the same time, look, this is something that I think not only the former players take ownership of, this is something that the fans take ownership of. And we want to see it succeed, and we want to see the right person put into place. Now, Thrill, for whatever reason, about 15 minutes ago, my door to my Studio 22 here opened up, and up came my wife, and she's been sitting in the corner over here. I literally.
Come on, Tara.
No idea. Hold on, say it. I know you're see her. No, not.
Come on, Tara, jump out from behind the light.
I don't know what she's doing. I don't know why she came up here, honey.
She wants to hear this stuff. She wants to hear this stuff personally because this is. Hey, what up, kiddo? I mean, she wants to hear it, and that's exactly what I told you. I mean, we were talking about this. That's like these guys that are in the clubhouse. This is the first time they've been through a firing like this, right? And it's completely new to everybody. Everybody's shell-shocked. It's like, whoa, and so then like I said, they start coming up with, well, why with 3 days left in the season? Why this? Why that? Why this? So it's 10,000 questions instead of the first question that should have been asked, which is, hey, we got too many losses. That's the problem.
What took you so long? Is that the first question?
Well, I can't say that. Your husband's gonna say that though,
right?
You can say it if you want. Hey, look. I mean, and this is the big thing, and I stressed this earlier. I mean, having these guys that we have in the clubhouse, we don't have that winning, mentality. Like it has to happen. Like somebody is going to stand up there and ream somebody's ass if it doesn't happen. And I mean, hey, look, somebody's got to be the dick every now and then because there's too many nice guys.
Somebody's
got to be the dick. And
there needs to be a
boom.
cook in the kitchen. Like
There you go. There you go. There you go.
And I think we need a little of spice. You know, it's one of the things when Eric put it out, people were talking about, oh, this guy, he needs more polish, or you need this or that. Enough polish. That's where Farhan comes in. That's where the analytics come in. That's where being in San Francisco comes in. But then you need to balance that. Like Eric was saying, the Chris Young Bochy thing is a great example. Bochy's not an ass, but he's a man's man. Like the dude lays it out, right? Like you're not going to miss batting practice with Bochy. You're not going to not take infield with Bochy. You're not going to not tuck your shirt in when Bochy's around. You're just going to do it because he expects it and you respect him for it.
Correct. And then here's another thing too, Tara. So in Eric and I have talked about this a little bit in the past, but you know, you walked into the clubhouse and there's a tunnel that you walk into or a little hard car door or whatever, and it had all of the Hall of Famers on there. So I mean, you could see everybody. You could see Christy Mathewson, you know, Johnny Mize. You can see everybody, right? Besides Mays McCovey, all up. Then you came around after you got out the clubhouse. And there's another hallway that goes down like towards the food room and towards the weight room and all that. And you had the World Series teams and the World Series pictures and the World Series trophies and the celebrations and the Hunter Pence and the this and the that, right? They did away with all of that. They did away with all of that. And so when you do away with the past, you do away with the history of the Giants, you do away with all of the guys that got your asses there. And all of a sudden you're saying, well, it's all about us. It's all about us. Well, guess what? All about y'all is finishing below 500 for the second time in 2 years. And that's not acceptable.
Yeah. Having to live up to a legacy, having the pressure of a legacy is a privilege. And there are organizations guys can play with that are still part of the MLB, and it's still awesome. But there are certain organizations that have a history, that have a legacy. And if you can't put the work in to honor that legacy and you make it about you, it's not going to get any further. The legacy stops. And
well,
so
and especially,
I had no idea they did that. Like,
you're talking about the work. And I am even glad you said that. You know, when I was working, when Matt Williams is working, when Kevin Mitchell was working, Robbie Thompson's working, you turn around and Willie Mays, Willie McCovey are watching you. You know, and then they're giving you advice and you're saying, yes, sir. Yes, sir. I will put that in play. I will put that in play. Now you sit there and you're out there supposedly working and Will Clark's standing there and nobody even talks to you. And, you know, you get 10 ground balls, 12 ground balls, and you take it to the house. And then, you know, this guy, that guy, this guy, that guy have never seen the field this year because they want to take batting practice in the cages because they're afraid of dealing with the media and the fans. That ain't the kind of player I want. I want the guy that's got, you know, some gonyos and gonna step out there in the freaking sunshine and bask in the sunshine.
And ask the questions. Like ask Mitchell, ask these guys that are showing up, that have been there, that have seen it. You don't have to.
So here's one for you. So Eric and I even talked about this. When I showed up end of August, right, for Mike Murphy's, you know, retirement and all that sort of stuff. There was a guy there. I'm not gonna name names, but I told him, I said, look, I said, you've dropped your hands, and I said, you keep getting beat on the high fastball because your hands aren't up enough. I said, I'm not asking you to change your swing. I'm not asking you to do anything. I just want your hands up just a little higher. And first thing he said, I'm not comfortable with that. And my response back to him was, first off, I looked at him and I go, well, good luck hitting 220. And then second thing I told him, and I told him this straight to his face, I said, and if you keep hitting 220, I'll make sure you're not in this organization. Boom.
At least
bye. We don't need you.
So bad.
Yeah. And so these are the kind of things, and that's why Eric needed to say it. You know, he needs to find out, you know, where the thrill's sitting and all that sort of stuff. if I had, 10 Eric Byrneses, or if I had, 15 Robbie Thompsons, or, we can name names of these generations. If I had that at my disposal, it's probably going to be a different mindset for the Thrill as to whether he's going to take the job or not.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I mean that's the question. Like, what would it take for you to actually take that job?
Yeah, no, I mean, give me the guys that want to bust their ass. I don't want the guys that get by and slide under the radar. I don't want that. I want the guys that want to man up and they want to be front and center all the time. And I can flat out tell you there's some guys that don't want to do it. I can see it. I can see it in their approach at the plate. I can see the thinking and the doubt going on and all that. And it's not a good way to hit.
So it's like trickle down leadership, right? Like we not only need someone in the manager's position that can handle it, but what else is happening in the dugout, in the locker room? Like who's the Posey, who's the David Justice you had, like the guys that kind of made it happen. And Eric always, I felt like, played on younger teams in general, until all of a sudden we were the old folks. Yeah. But you make a good point. Like, who in that clubhouse is the person that's standing at, why weren't you at batting practice today? Do you want to go work on something in the cage, player to player, and then. Yeah.
I don't mind. Hey, and look, I played in Texas. It was 1,000 degrees. All right. I took BP every day, but then there'd be certain days I'd go up to Johnny Oates, the skipper, and I'd say, "Hey, Skip, I just need a day today. Just give me a blow today." And he'd say, "Yeah, you don't go take BP." I'm like, "Perfect." And then, but yet the next day I was right back out there in the middle of our routine. Okay. But Eric knows, because Eric and I have talked about this before. When you see guys get up and it is a crucial situation of the game, and you see them consistently go out the strike zone or swing at bullshit pitches and shit bouncing and all that. These are guys that are either scared or they're not prepared or they're mentally not tough enough. And I have problems with that.
All right, Thrill. The bottom line is this: the defense was absolutely dog shit this year. Well, and that's it. Like, they didn't practice. Like, you were there. You saw it. You could go to a fucking game and watch them and how they work during batting practice. They never took it to an extreme. And this is something that we've talked about 19,000 times, but they have to learn how to play defense. And the only way you learn is by going through the repetitions, reading the ball off the walls, all of these things. That's what makes you a great fielder. And what you alluded to, which was playing a singular position on a regular basis.
Yep. All right, look, and I have not named names. I have not named names at all. But we got an outfielder, all right, that I think personally is a very good player, but he doesn't take any fly balls in the outfield. He doesn't know how to get back to the fence, when to start slowing down, when to stop. He's had some crashes into the fence. He's had to go into DL and stuff like that in the past, and he just doesn't work at it. And for me, that's unacceptable, because that is being very, very much middle of the road guy. I don't want to be the next level guy. And if you don't want to be the next level guy, see it. Go to another team. Go to another organization. I care less.
Better every day. You got to be better every day.
There you go. I want guys that are going to bust their ass and look. And it's not punishment. If you make an error one day, don't go out there and take 70 ground balls and beat your head against the wall. Hey, it's baseball. Shit happens. But tell me that you care. Go out there and work like you would normally work, and just say shit happens. Here's another one. Eric and I have talked about this one before, and it happened to me. It happened to Robbie Thompson, Matt Williams, everybody. We booed them. We all booed them. All right. But I want the guy that's going to say, hey, look, I fucked that one up. Give me another ground ball. You give me another ground ball, and I'm going to do my job for you this time. And it's amazing. When you tell a pitcher that, He goes out there and he's freaking aggressive, and he gets you another ground ball again. There you go.
No, I agree.
Hey, dude. So right behind me, Corbin Carroll stole second base. Tara's over here saying he got caught.
It says it right here.
I know he got caught. I just sent out a tweet, Thrill. That is very, very poignant on my opinion with it. And it was Carroll was safe as shit at second base. It's fucking embarrassing that the call was not overturned. That's exactly what I said. Hello, honey. How are you? She loves my language.
And I saw it. It was a short hop, and the glove came up and tagged him up in the chest, and he got his legs in there.
He got his leg in, and they didn't overturn it. It's awful.
Yeah,
awful.
And that's where, believe it or not, we have some of the umpire, I guess you want to say, superintendents that sit in some of the games. One of them is Ed Montague, and he's in San Francisco all the time. And I told him, Eddie, I said, you got to do something about freaking New York not overturning some of these calls. I said they're going to bat for their bobos instead of getting the call right.
Yeah.
It's embarrassing.
Yeah, that was real bad right there.
Okay, so Thrill, honey, what was the real reason you came up here tonight?
Colton is using my phone to have his fantasy draft for his day-to-day league, and so I couldn't listen downstairs.
Okay, well, what if Colton was using your phone to talk to a babe?
We had that conversation last night, so
All right.
There's only so much you can say to a babe with any legitimacy.
So in other words, you're saying a 12 or 13-year-old doesn't have the gift of gab?
Well, he can talk a lot, but he talks a real big game. I don't know if he can back it up yet. So.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
All
right,
television
so
tonight,
here.
Looper, we got sausage and white bean soup with beer bread.
Oh, I am liking this.
It's been cold
All
tonight.
right.
Get into the 30s. What's
There
going
you
on?
go.
What is he
Hey, look. You guys are getting that away. All right, so Byrnes did this one right here. These show up every, I don't know, so I guess right in there. Guy with Tops to do some baseball signings, and they send out a freaking big old ass box of baseball cards and stickers and all that sort of shit. And it'll take me, I don't know, maybe that box might take me about 3 or 4 hours to sign. And
how many cards are in there?
I don't know. I hadn't opened it, but like the last one was, I don't know, 1,100, right around there. So, that's what, and then believe it or not, they'll send me like card sets. It'll be me and Buster Posey or me and Tim Lincecum or me and whoever. And so that's Tops staying ahead of the game and getting, autograph signatures to put in their packs for people that buy, cards and stuff like that.
You know what's funny, Thrill? I actually got an offer just recently to sign a bunch of cards. I think it was like 2,000. And I'm almost embarrassed to say this. And I'm not going to reveal the price for you or my wife. But basically, I told them to go fuck themselves. And the reason being is
you can't sit down for 3 hours. Are you kidding?
You realize
there's no way you can park your ass 3 hours and sign shit.
No, dude. Yeah, I mean, literally, you're gonna have to pay me a Hall of Fame rate to sit down and sign the amount of cards that they wanted me to sign. I'm like, there's no fucking chance, man.
Hey, Tara, could you picture him trying to sign? Because he'd be either jogging or he'd be on a treadmill. He's running like this and he's trying to sign, and his freaking signature would be all over the place.
Thank my God! Where it's saved in my file, like I just plug it in there for any.
Hey, I'm gonna be totally honest here. I'm an asshole because when I have done those deals and I have done them before, I get my ADD kicks in so badly that I end up signing them EB, and I'm the snappiest motherfucker signer you've ever seen in your entire life.
You don't even put your full name on there? Look, I'll open it for you. We'll see.
This is how much respect I have for you because every one of your autographs is the same. It's Will Clark. It's cursive beautiful. WILLCLARK. Where you look at mine and it literally is just initials and it looks like shit.
All All right. This one ain't
Fine
got
clothes.
too many. This is a specialized card box. So it's probably, as you can see, it's probably got, I don't know, 10 or 12 in there.
Yeah, so none of the edges bend.
Yeah, let's
Eric
see.
does sign all of Chloe's school papers, Eric Byrnes 22.
No, it's not all of it. She needed one school thing signed. I signed it Eric Byrnes 22.
Nothing wrong
Let
with
me see the
that.
card. What cards are they sending you? Let's see a card.
All right, hang on. I'm showing you. All right, so this one's got a few more in it right here. That's got a few more in that box. Let's see what this one is.
Do they have to take him out like the packages? Like each one?
Diamond collection.
Fancy.
All right.
Oh, these are nice, dude.
Diamond icons.
Yeah, these are new, bro.
These are brand
Yeah,
spanking
that's
new.
fucking badass, man.
That's first time
Hey,
out
bro.
to shoot. That's first time out to shoot right there.
You gotta save me one of those. You got the Nuschler face on.
All right. Hang on. That's 3 boxes. We got 3 more. Hang on. Let's see what these are. Ooh, these are wrapped up.
Oh, so you know what's happening, right? The card industry is bigger than it's ever been. And so now they're going back to a lot of the legends and they're like, yo, thrill. Yeah, these are some iconic fucking shots, man.
Yeah, so that's another one. So I'll be signing these and basically sending them back to Tops. And then I don't know how they do it. I don't know whether they put them in card sets or whatever they do, and then kind of go from there.
Right.
Where are you going?
I heard what I wanted to hear.
Yeah, they really didn't send me a lot of cards.
The
this
name.
time. Ooh, wait a second. Here's a
That one's
here's
full.
a box from your ass.
That one's full.
All right, let's see this one. Let's see what this one is.
Will brought up a name. Did anybody talk about Kevin Mitchell?
For what?
Here's one for you, Luker. That's a new card, and it's doesn't really say.
You look like you have your sights on the pitcher in that card, Will. Like you're getting ready to go forward.
No, this one right here is like, it's that look like I can't believe I fucking missed that pitch. So
Good
all
call,
right.
Carrie. You're right. I actually went through in my head some of the San Diego names I could think of that were kind of gritty, but got like the whole analytics. And I was having a hard time coming up. Carrie just dropped. She said I said Mitchell because he's a Kari because he's a San Diego guy. But then I was
All
trying
right,
to think of the other San Diego guys, and
Here's
got-
another diamond icon one, Luker. So there's another one. That's the old follow through of the swing type thing.
Yeah, so these are all new, man.
Yeah, these are brand spanking. I've never seen these. So they just sent me, like I said, 6 boxes of these, and I'll sign them. So anyway, that's the baseball card industry and how it works.
That's really cool because the card industry is bigger than and better than it's ever been. Tara, before you leave,
Yes.
I mean, you can't just come up here and disappear like this. We need to get your opinion. So it's sitting.
Your shirt is too tight.
Mine?
Okay. All right. I got to tell you this one because Tara's up there. All right. I had to tell the Boogie Bear story twice this weekend about cutting a leather suit off of him.
Give it to us one more time.
All right. Here we go. All right, Tara, you ready for this one? All right. So we're in San Fran and we are going to, I don't know, East Coast. We're going to New York up there. And it's pretty cool up there, but we got to make a pit stop in Phoenix to play our AAA team, right? And it just so happens to be 100 degrees in Phoenix, right? And Boogie Bear gets on the plane. He's got a full-on leather suit on, like top and bottom. I'm like, oh, Jesus. One of these numbers, right? So we played a game in Phoenix, and he gets on the plane, right? And he goes, Thrill. I go, what? He goes, I got to take a shit. I'm like, well, go ahead. And he's like, Thrill, I can't get my shit off. And I go, what? He says, my suit stuck to me because he was sweating and his shit stuck to him, right? And so now I'm freaking howling, laughing. I'm like, oh my God. So I go, hang on one second. I go to the front of the bus and trainer's up there. I said, hey, give me your scissors. He goes, what you need scissors for? I said, shut up and give me your scissors, right?
That's
So sure enough, I laid Boogie Bear in the bottom of the bus, and I chopped this freaking maroon leather suit off of his ass.
He's like, man, that's my custom suit.
Yeah, exactly. And who knows how much he spent on it, you know? And he gets a chance to finally go to the bathroom and all that, and he comes out. Now he's stark ass naked. So we got this big naked black guy on the bus. And he's going, Thrill, you got to help me out. You got to help me out. I'm like, dude, we can't do anything until we get to the airport and the bus stops. And so somebody had a pair of sweatsuits or whatever. I don't know. We dressed his ass up for the flight. So my man, you big there.
Dude, once the suit's cut off, like, what did he wear? Do you remember?
Boxers.
He wore nothing.
He didn't have any fucking boxers on.
His freaking birthday street until we got to the airport, and then we could get some bags from underneath, and somebody had a sweatsuit or something like that. We gave him the sweatsuit.
Oh, jeez.
Could you imagine, and I'm not the only person thinking about this.
Leather pants.
No. But what would have happened had he not been able to get the leather suit off in time, and he actually took a shit?
Oh my God! Oh my God! We'd have had to literally had him at the back of the plane and hosed his ass down. We'd had to get somebody with a fire extinguisher or something like that. Freaking hose his ass down.
A biohazard stop for the.
So Thrill, I don't know if you know this, but that Adam Pyatt story went viral.
Oh no!
Oh really? It did.
Yeah, hundreds of thousands of views on it. Yes. Yeah, I mean, not shocking, but you knew what was going to happen. And I want to clarify something because Henry Markin, our great social media director at No Filter Network, chopped it up perfectly. But to be transparent, once again, as we always are here, the story actually goes back to the minor leagues. And so I had mentioned the rivalry of them going back and forth lasted all the way through the big leagues. And I mentioned the Pyatt suit story where they laced it with the cheese, right? But the original shit story into a towel was in the minor leagues. And Chris Medlin, a former pitcher for the Atlanta Braves, I don't even know, reached out to me. And he says, yo, bro, I saw you and Thrill talking about this story. He goes, I thought it was one of the funniest things ever. This is like a 20-game winner for the Braves a few years ago. And he goes, so I had to ask Huddy about it. And Huddy confirmed it's all true, but it happened in the minor leagues. And I go, and I got back to Chris. And I'm like, dude, exactly. Like, I'm not dropping stories that aren't fucking true here. So he was saying, but Huddy actually went on to say, though, and he told Medlin this, the shit melted through the towel and into the air conditioning unit. And he goes, that's what really sparked the whole thing.
Oh Lord! Hey, Tara, before you bail out of there, I wanted to run this one by you real quick too. So Trey and I are in San Francisco, and Lisa and Ella went to Reno because they were in Reno because they had Miss USA there, right? And it's absolutely hilarious, but it was either 4 or 5 girls that had been past contestants at Miss Louisiana, wound up going to other states and winning. Remember I told you it was one of the Carolinas, it was Utah, it was Nevada, it was Louisiana, and somebody else. All right. Yep. So anyway, so Ella knows these people personally, so does Lisa. And one of their good friends, Noelia, her last name is Voigt. It's Jack Voigt's daughter. You remember him? Played for the A's and played for the Mets.
Shut the fuck up, jumping Jack Voigt.
Jack Voigt's daughter, Noelia, won Miss USA.
She did. She was stunning.
She's awesome, dude.
But she's a Louisiana girl too, and she was.
Yeah. Well, no, she's not a Louisiana. Jack went to LSU. They live in Florida now, but she didn't compete as Florida. She competed as Utah and wound up winning.
She competed for 2 other states before she won the Utah title. And
Correct,
I
correct,
feel it. Like
correct.
there's strong, like Louisiana, Texas, California, and believe it or not, Kansas are really, really strong systems.
Yep. Yep.
And so if you're not having success there, you go find somewhere else. And when I was at Miss
So
USA,
I had lost
19 of the girls lived in California.
It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. But I had like lost track of Jack, when he was playing. Yeah, I knew him when he was playing stuff, but I had lost track of him, and I've actually regained our friendship through Noelia and Ella.
I love it.
Being in these pageants, and now Noelia is Miss USA.
What is okay, Thrill? There was an infamous video that used to make its way around the Oakland A's, and it was the name of the video is Jumpin' Jack Voigt, and basically it was like this highlight reel tape that they made of Jack Voigt, and Jack Voigt, let's just say he was like an okay player or whatever it is, right? But like the highlight video was comical in the way it was made. And so he became legendary around the Oakland A's clubhouse as being Jumpin' Jack Voigt. And it was almost not that he was a joke, but like the video was really fucking funny.
I get it.
So what was he like as a player? And I've never met Jack Voigt. And so what is he like as a human being?
He and you have a lot of similarities. He was high energy type stuff, and for me personally, it was like looking at you in the mirror. I mean, I actually enjoyed watching Jack play because he was entertaining because of how high energy he was, just like you. Okay. And so Jack, like I said, he played at LSU down here. And then got drafted. He went to the A's and the Mets. I know for sure. Probably another team in there somewhere or not. But anyway,
that's super cool, man. It's crazy how.
By the way, yeah, no, that's cool as shit. But I just looked down. Tommy Luke's in the chat room. And T. Luke, I wanted to tell you this. Matter of fact, I got a picture on my phone over here. But my daughter had been doing some modeling, and she hooked up with this modeling agency and all that sort of stuff. She wound up being on the freaking big ass Jumbotron in Times Square 2 days in a row, doing some modeling stuff in New York. So little something for old Ella Clark right there.
Yeah. Well, dude, Ella became legendary at your retirement ceremony, bro. Like everyone was like, oh, right. Like it was all about Ella Clark.
Yeah, no, and the reason being, believe it or not, when we came out there, for not only the retirement ceremony, but it started actually the year before. Some of these idiots that are online that like looking at good looking girls and stuff, they called it the Ella effect because Ella came out for a homestand and we were like 6-1. They called it the Ella effect, and then when she came out for the Jersey retirement, we went 6-1 again. And so they started up that Ella effect crap going again.
I love it, man. All right. So currently in the Arizona Diamondbacks game, we're in the bottom of the eighth inning. It looks like there's nobody on. There's one out. Good on the D-backs, holding on tight. It's 3-0 Philadelphia over Miami. Maybe I'm wrong on this. I think this series is going to be short-lived. The Marlins are the Marlins. They're fine. They're getting there. They're a much better team than they were, but they have too many holes. I think the Phillies are a fucking dangerous team, Thrill. You got
to remember, Phillies were in the freaking MLB World Series Finals last year.
Yeah, last year, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So they got a little history, and you and I talked about it before. It's whoever freaking hot right now, and the Phillies have that capability.
Okay, so Thrill, the Texas Rangers, 4-0 winners over the Tampa Bay Rays today. You were on the first ever Texas Ranger playoff squad back in the day.
Yes.
Can I ask you a question, though? Because I saw a picture the other day that was one of the most glorious pictures potentially that I've ever seen. I'm flipping through phones to make sure I find it here. It was incredible. I've got to ask you, Thrill. What the fuck are you thinking?
Holy cow. So that was like one of the first division title and ever in the Texas Ranger history. I don't know who it was. They passed out about 2 or 3 of those, and we had a bunch of guys on that team that smoked cigars, and so we went up and we lit them up and we had a few puffs. I didn't know it'd be a goddamn fungo that I was smoking on there though.
That's exactly what it is. You're smoking a fucking fungo.
That is. I swear to God. And then, believe it or not, you fast forward a few years, and when we won over the Braves with the Cardinals, McGuire and I was smoking a big old cigar too.
Do you remember or know who this guy is?
He's a reporter. I don't remember who he was.
Okay. Yeah, that's fantastic, man. Yeah, a lot of people don't realize that because obviously the impact you made with the San Francisco Giants, but then you went to Texas and it was, I think, your first year that you guys.
Well, yeah, I mean, so I went there in 94, then we had the strike in 94, 95. We came back. We wound up just a shade behind the Mariners in 95. 96, we won. 97, we were a hair behind. And then 98, we won. So, and at the time we went on strike, we were in first place. So actually, 3 out of the 5 years that I was with Texas, we were in first place in that division, which they had never, ever, as an organization, that was going back to the Senators, they had never won. They had never won a division. They had won jack. In 3 out of the 5 years I was there, they won.
So if Texas wins, they take on the Baltimore Orioles. We'll call it the Will the Thrill series.
Two of my teams.
Who are you going to pull for?
You know what? I mean, I love Baltimore. They got a collective group of young guys that are actually pretty cool, and they're playing really well. But I'm an old schooler, and I've been around Boch so long. I got to pull for Bochy.
What about Bruce Bochy coming back to manage the Giants?
Ooh, I don't think that's going to happen.
I
don't think that's going to happen because he left and he went to Texas, and he's having he's having success this first year, and they're getting a little taste of what it means to be playoff baseball and all that, and they're not going to let him go now.
That ship sailed. If I'm Bochy, I wouldn't even want to go back. I mean, what are you going to do? You win another World Series?
Yeah, but he would have to do the the same thing that we were talking about before. He'd have to do a little bit of an overhaul. I mean, look at the guys. Look at the guys he's got for him right now. I mean, they're busting their tail for him. Simeon and Seager and Garcia and Lowe.
Yeah. 5-4 winners today. I didn't realize they came back because Texas. Well, I'm taking a look at the scores. Why does it say 4-0? Yeah, it is. It does say 4. Okay, there's 4 and 5 seed. I'm like, dude, that is weird. Okay.
No, the score was 4-0. Why? What does it say?
No, I was just looking at the postseason picture thing that they were the 5 seed and the 4 seed. So I was looking at it wrong. I'll show you what I'm talking about here.
How about the Twins getting a hold of the Blue Jays first game?
Well, dude, we got Jean on here, who is super excited. She's a big Minnesota Twinkies fan.
Yeah, and they beat up on Gosman. Easy to do.
No, not at all. And then Royce Lewis had 2 home runs, I believe it was, for the Minnesota Twins. This kid
he drove in all our runs.
Dude, I was at the MLB draft when he got drafted. I think it was first overall, wasn't it?
Yeah. From Juno Sarah San Juan Capistrano, California. 2017.
Yeah, I was there. I was at that draft. Okay, there's 3 teams, Thrill, that made the postseason this year that just 2 years ago lost over 100 games. 2 of those teams lost 110 fucking games. It's wild to think about. It was the Arizona Diamondbacks, the Baltimore Orioles, and I believe the Texas Rangers. And now all 3 are in the postseason. What a crazy turnaround. But I say crazy, but then again, haven't we seen this movie before? It's called the Houston fucking Astros.
Yes, we have seen it. It is called the Houston Astros. It is called when you are kind of crappy. You get high draft picks. And when all of a sudden those high draft picks, your scouting department, and kudos to the scouting department, all those teams, that they picked good position players, pitchers, whatever it might be, that directly affected those teams. And all of a sudden now you're seeing those guys in the freaking playoffs and trying to make it to the World Series.
Yeah. All right, man. We're getting late here, 7:22 Pacific time. Is there anything else that you want to add? As I'm hoping you're willing to do this through the course of the postseason, and we can continue to roll here and go over these playoff games and whatever else, and take us through the World Series. I mean, I'll follow your schedule, but
I'm cool. As of next week, I'll be here. I ain't going nowhere, and we'll see how the playoff games bounce around this week. If there's any, San Francisco Giants come across, I'll let you know. And everybody in the chat room, have a great week.
Absolutely. Dude, we had Knox galore, by the way, tonight.
I get it. Put it this way. We had to do the Kapler thing and all that sort of stuff. So, I'm sorry we weren't able to do that. Next week, we should have a lot more loose of a program. So we'll let guys on and girls on.
Yeah. So Steven, we got Andre, Duke, of course, Chris, Silva. But I don't think we can end the program before going to this fucking degenerate right here.
Without Father Christmas. Oh, he's got his Diamondback stuff on. Go ahead,
Diamondbacks.
Yeah, baby.
Hey, and you broke out the old school teal. Nice job.
Thank you.
Hey, man. So the Diamondbacks are the AAA team, the Reno Aces are the AAA team of the Arizona Diamondbacks. You got to feel a connection to some of these motherfuckers, correct?
Oh, yes, I do. I feel a huge connection. Me and Jason, huge connection, man. That's our MLB. Reno.
Oh, yeah.
We've been watching this for years,
they even told me about going to the games and cooking out and shit like that.
Yeah, dude. There's so much talent has come through Reno. It's nice to see it start to come to fruition in Arizona. So many good ball players.
Battleborn, I went to a Reno Aces game, they call it like 5 years ago. And I saw Christian Walker hit 3 fucking bombs, dude. Bombs. And I'm like, who is this guy? At the time, I'm working at MLB Network. And I go back and I do my research on him. I'm like, oh, okay. He was a badass at South Carolina and went to the College World Series. Yeah. Well, then he gets called up to the big leagues. And this guy's turned into like a perennial fucking power guy in the big leagues.
Dude, so a blast from the past, Kyle Lewis, that was a Mariner, the rookie of the year in the COVID year. He's a fucking ace on the Reno Aces. Really? This dude he's older. He was a 26-year-old rookie, so he was older, had knee injuries. But this last season, dude, he fucking destroyed AAA. Like, holy shit. And how much talent do they have? He's not on the big league roster. They have so many good kids, man. So much talent. It's finally, like I said, it's nice to see it come to fruition. Finally.
Question for you, Battleborn. Yep. Do you think, this is a serious question,
All right.
Do you think that Reno could sustain a banana ball team called the Tahoe Tacos?
Fuck yes. Because you got to lead that shit, though. It's got to be you leading that shit. And we probably need a guest appearance or 12 of Will. But
No, Thrill's not a guest appearance. That's my fucking 3-hitter.
Oh. Okay. Done deal.
That's it, man.
More seats than fucking the Bananas do.
Hey, I can just, there'll be a freaking song made. Tahoe Apo Tacos, some sort of way or another.
100%. It's coming, dude.
That's awesome, man.
All right. Hey, Thrill, anything else you got for Battleborn or anyone else? Any final thoughts?
Yeah, Battleborn, check your phone. You're going to be getting a care package. Check it out.
Oh, God bless you, Will. I love you.
All right, man.
All right, brother.
All right,
if he's getting a care package, I imagine it's either a gun or a dead animal, one or the other.
It's food that is a dead animal.
It's snacks, Byrnes, snacks.
Well, hey, send me some of that shit, dude. Just make sure you spice it up.
I got you taken care of, big boy.
All right.
All right, dudes. Of all the shows, that was one of them. Battleborn. I would never ever let you finish the show with us. So see ya as you get the fuck out of here. Thrill.
Dude, that was, you know what? I mean, hey, look, end of the season, and yeah, we had a lot of shit going on, not only in the background, but stuff with the Giants and just talking in general. It's good to have Tara on tonight too, and
fun.
And yeah, man. I mean, next week let's do same time, same bat channel, and we'll open up the knocker room. And all of you people that are in the freaking audience right here, don't be afraid. We see Battleborn and we see Andre and all those guys all the time. Luker, we need some of you new guys and girls to get in there. Let's go.
All right. So I want to remind everybody that this is all new to us when it comes to going across all the different podcast platforms. We're on 17 different platforms, including Caffeine TV and Fubu now. So on that note, if you guys could leave us a review, throw 5 stars. If you're feeling generous, share the programs with your friends. Thrill, within literally, I think it's we've posted 2-3 shows. Our numbers are fucking they're flying, dude. It's good. It's really, really fucking good.
Yeah. You look, I mean, I wish I could tell you. I wish I could tell you how many people in my everyday life come up to me and go, "Hey, dude, you and that freaking guy Byrnes are freaking hysterical." And they go, keep doing the TikToks and all that sort of stuff. And I'm like, get on no filter. Come on, no filter, and have fun with us. And they're like, well, I do the TikTok and all that. And so there are people, I swear to God, there's hundreds of people that come up to me within a week and talk about our shit, but yet they won't get on the podcast.
You know what though? I'm okay with it because we don't need them on here for us to eventually blow this thing out of the water like we want to. I like our intimate crowd. I like the fact that, and yes, by the way, Chris, I have had Battleborn's pickles. I had he puts the pickles with was it the ghost pepper pickles? He had the ghost
pepper, and then he does the spicy garlic and dill.
So. Yeah. So yeah, dude, it's awesome that we're able to get that reach. And then it's funny because that same sort of thing, I'm now getting people going, "Oh, fuck, man. I got to tune into the podcast, man. I just can't get enough of it. Your guys' segments end on TikTok or on Instagram." So they're all kind of the same thing, whether it's Reels, whether it's TikTok, whether it's YouTube, it doesn't matter. We're spreading them across all the platforms, getting millions of views on these. And these people are going ape shit and they want more. So
yeah,
now we're sending them for the podcast that's on Apple and everything else. That said, if you're listening on Apple, you're listening on Spotify, you're listening on Caffeine TV, you're listening or watching on Fubu, come to No Filtered Network every Tuesday night, 6 p.m. Pacific time. That is when we film the show. The chat is firing, as you guys can tell, start to finish. And every now and again, we'll let you on the program and we'll get you guys freaking rocking and rolling.
That is right. Next week, we'll have, one or two things to say, probably about the playoff games that are going on now and for the rest of the week. And then other than that, we're going to open it up to our friends in the chat room.
All right, Thrill, have a fantastic week, dude. And we will see ya next week.